Now, the Democrats pointlessly impeached Donald Trump today, knowing full well they don't have anywhere near the numbers to dump him through the Senate vote. I've got to say, though, it was curious to see the way these serious speeches were delivered by the Democrats in the House of Reps. But when the vote came down, they were ecstatic. They were thrilled. It was almost New Year's Eve, Caroline.
Well, they have been trying to do this for 4 years, Chris. So they couldn't get over the line with the Mueller inquiry, and they have just been throwing mud around hoping that something's going to stick. So of course they were ecstatic today because they finally got their horse over the line. But the issue is now that this goes to a Senate hearing, which is much more like a court-style trial. So they're going to need a bit more than presumption and hearsay and whatnot to be able to get this across the line. I mean, they don't have the vote anyway, so it's really very self-indulgent. The electorate's not interested in this.
And I wonder, Caroline, whether it's actually working in Donald Trump's favour, because the polls have been static from the get-go. As soon as this was raised, the polls have been static. A little bit of movement towards Donald Trump, but certainly there's no screaming or thirst to have him impeached.
No, and the thing is, I suppose it's not so much whether he's done the right thing or the wrong thing, but has he done something that's actually impeachable? You know, the Americans are enjoying record growth, record unemployment, and people are happy for that to continue. They're not really interested in this, you know, this peak political narcissism. It's ultimate bubble behaviour that's going on the Hill.
Yeah.
So I actually just don't think they care, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. Catherine, what did you make of Trump's comedic response? I thought he was in fairly good humour.
Yeah, look, I think he's read this correctly in that you look at the global trends, Chris, and seconding also what Caroline said, while this has the trappings of a legal proceeding, you know, the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, Roberts, will preside over this, and there will be counsel at the table, and it will look for all intents and purposes like a trial. It's an innately political process. Yes. It always has been. And I've been studying some of the former ones. In fact, I actually, in a previous life, I studied the impeachment of Andrew Johnson in some detail. Ah. And if you've got a stocking filler request for your audience out there for Christmas tonight, go and have a look at Jack Kennedy's book, Profiles in Courage, about the senator who voted to protect Andrew Johnson against impeachment from the opposite party. Johnson was a Southern Democrat who became president when Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, and he didn't actually have the support of the governing party. And it's very similar to the Trump circumstance in the sense that all of the agenda is political. They simply did not like the man or his agenda, and that's clearly what's driving this. Paul Murray had some interesting numbers the other night. In 6 of those big swing states through the Midwest, where the battleground will be, Trump's lead is now in double-digit figures. So the politics of it are abysmal. And his tweet, yeah, I think that was the tweet of a guy who is feeling pretty relaxed about this. And I think he's read his opposition better than they've read him, in that he got NAFTA through last week. Pelosi had to come to the table and deal on that. Yeah. That was not the act of a Democrat party leader who thinks she's getting rid of this president.
No, exactly. Spot on. They realise that. They know it only too well.